Discovery Group Data Science Lab. So we obviously have the kind of individual business units like we mentioned, kind of the health business and invest and life and the bank and so on. And we're kind of a group team that looks at projects that cut across all of the business units. So a lot of it has this kind of cross-cutting behavioural angle, which Matt and Roseanne will go into as well. Okay, so the fourth industrial revolution, what is it? I mean, the first one was steam, kind of the late 18th century to early 19th century, and I guess most of these have been around, how do we kind of improve like human productivity by, creating energy in different ways. So steam from the coal, the first one. Then you had kind of electricity, the foundation of kind of the first mass production, 19th century to the early 20th. And then computing was more kind of improving people's productivity in the sort of service sectors of the economy, as well as automating some production. And so the fourth industrial revolution, which we're seeing kind of breaking now, I suppose it goes beyond computing by adding more intelligence to computers. So rather than just performing a series of algorithms, we're essentially bringing decision-making power into computers, and then fundamentally as well, we're kind of connecting, rather than computers kind of operating individually or from different machines, we're able to kind of connect all these things together. So you kind of got this combination of the huge amounts of data like being generated in the environment, like from machines or computers or devices, and then you've got sort of new algorithms that are actually able to process this data and turn that into reliable decisions that can be made, without a human being being involved. And these are obviously, everybody's carrying them around in their pocket, but these things can obviously make very kind of specific, valuable sort of recommendations and gives insights to people. So, so some of the aspects of this, that we're already seeing, I suppose it's sort of digitization of value chains. You're seeing that in kind of the way logistics are working around the world with supply chains, kind of integrating suppliers and firms, all over the globe. Obviously the apps people have in their pocket. We've got things like the sharing economy as well, and this is the foundation of it. And then, we're just seeing the beginning of new things like augmented reality, so overlaying kind of data and insights on top of sort of what you see or what you hear in the world. As a financial services group, we primarily focus in this regard on the big data analytics side. We don't do as much with the sensors. I think maybe in our car insurance business, we have we kind of mount sensors in people's cars. And these things are generating data sort of, I think it's about 100 times a second around the velocity and position of your car. So, we're able to detect how you're driving. Are you driving kind of very aggressively, or are you cornering kind of very, very sharply and so on. And we can also kind of figure out from these devices, has there been some change in motion, maybe you've had an accident, and we can send out an ambulance and that kind of thing. So there's a bit of work around smart sensors and the Internet of Things, which is happening too. But I'll mainly talk around the big data analytics side, which I'm sure most of you have some kind of view of. Just looking at the data that's just being generated globally. You will have seen that sort of animation up at the beginning of the presentation. But, we're nearly in 2020 now, and, at the moment, in this, what they call the data sphere, we're adding about 1.7 megabytes per human being per second, which basically means it's more than 40 more bytes there are than stars in the observable universe. And the growth here is exponential, so by 2025, we're going to have kind of people interacting with connected devices 4,800 times a day. So, I think the average person looks at their phone probably a couple of hundred times a day. So 4,800 doesn't leave you with much free time. But yeah, I mean, obviously this is self-driving cars, and there's technologies we haven't even understood yet, and a quarter of this data will be kind of being produced in real time. Most of it will be analysed on the fly and then thrown away. We just can't kind of store these volumes of data. But yeah, by that period, we're getting about over 200 million DVDs worth of data being produced per day, which is extraordinary. Okay, so where is this all happening? I mean, you can see it's all around the world. Europe, Middle East, and Africa are that sort of mid blue one there. And where's all this being stored? Well, I suppose it's historically been sort of on company premises or on your hard drives and so on. But it's overwhelmingly going to kind of exist in the cloud environments. And in South Africa, just recently we've had earlier this year, Microsoft Azure opened kind of cloud data centers in South Africa to serve the African market better. And Amazon's had data centers here for the last couple of years. So, I mean, we're well positioned here in terms of generation of data, the location of data, and ability to work with it, to participate. Okay, so, I mean, the challenge and the upside here is that, I mean, at the moment, only less than 0.5% of this data is actually analysed and used that we're currently working with. So there's probably a bit of an 80-20 rule here where 20% of the data is actually giving us the most of the insights, but there's still a huge amount of data which there's value to be had there and kind of mined out of it. And that value, just looking across a couple of industries here, says that, on the health side, if we're able to actually understand the pathways that people navigate going through the health system, what's happening to them at each point, if we can kind of predict things that are going to happen to them clinically or in the environment, we could save over $1,000 a year per person. Just the data accessibility as well, making it accessible within an organization, it can add huge value as well. And on the retail side, just being able to kind of predict what customers are going to do, more accurately tailor offers to them, manage supply chains more efficiently. You could have massive increases in operating margin. So, I mean, even if kind of most of you are sort of actuarial or investment professionals, I mean, these types of dynamics are transformative. Even if you're kind of looking at investing in firms, like to understand which firms are going to kind of reap the rewards here and which ones are going to be reaped by the other firms. So so there's a sort of critical stuff to understand. So these are the opportunities. I think some of the threats were mentioned as well, like what's this going to do to kind of jobs. And there are a lot of different estimates from kind of World Economic Forum and McKinsey and so on, ranging from sort of 50% to 70% of jobs, as we know them, are going to be lost, okay? As this sort of artificial intelligence is able to sort of replace service jobs as well as, more manual jobs. And this is true in kind of, industrialized as well as industrializing countries. So, I mean, there's a great opportunity here if you have the skills to navigate this environment, but obviously a threat if you don't. And so really the skills one needs, I think, at some level to sort of survive in this environment are some appreciation of data science. And I suppose with data we're saying, we've got these historically vast quantities of data. And then science obviously is about testing hypotheses, running experiments, analyzing the results, drawing conclusions, building kind of software that runs without kind of a human intervention. I mean, most people sort of understand by data science, machine learning, but there's a lot of other aspects to it. So just visualizations can give you a lot of great insights into your data and help you draw conclusions. Many people have probably heard of like deep learning, using kind of massive neural networks to do tasks that historically could only be done by humans. So visual recognition of things, sound, recognizing information from sound and so on. And then optimization is a key one as well, like taking a very kind of complex system like a business or logistical supply chain and kind of optimizing the best way. Trucks need to move in a system to deliver goods, for example. Okay, so that's sort of data science, and obviously to navigate that environment you need to some extent be a data scientist. We see there being three main components of a data scientist. So one is some appreciation of kind of statistics and algorithms. Second one is some appreciation of software engineering or ability to understand that field. The third aspect is I suppose soft and people skills. So this is understanding the problem you're trying to solve and communicating the answer back to the client. And then there's actually a fourth one in the middle, which is just having a business mindset to connect this all, in a pragmatic way that solves the problem without over-engineering it. For this, you could come from several different backgrounds. So it's actuarial science, stats, applied maths, whatever. I think most people will have had some exposure to computer science in various forms and coding. I think we heard that mentioned earlier. And then I think a lot of people would be getting these skills through many of the other courses too. So I think people in this room are probably fairly well positioned for this environment. This is a skill I think most people should have. I think for almost any career going forward, and to kind of get into this. How many people here have had sort of some programming experience with like R or Python? Okay, so a reasonable showing, but these would be probably your entry points just into kind of understanding the language. Java is a critical one, which was mentioned earlier, particularly when this sort of stuff goes in production. Scala is another language to run these sorts of things at enormous kind of scale, and the Spark framework as well. But these are probably your best intro ones. And then, how many people have used kind of Coursera or Udemy or those sorts of? So these are these kind of massive open online courses are an amazing resource. That's how I started, was doing a machine learning course through Coursera. So they're really high quality, and you can get sort of certificates off those as well, like once you've completed them. So they can go on the CV too. Cool. So anyway, that's just my intro of the fourth industrial revolution. I suppose some of the trends, some of the sort of the really exciting and also kind of frightening changes that it's going to make, and what are the sorts of skills people will need to handle that. All right, thank you.